Tremendous evidence being provided to anyone who's been a victim of the alliance, also called NAA or National Agents Alliance, or really any integrity marketing group company, including Family First Life. This is a RICO. It's a concerted effort by Integrity Marketing Group using multiple companies using the same scam. Same scam is, hey, bring in new agents, invest money, they're exclusive leads. The difference between the alliance and Family First Life, which is described on this interview I had with Adam Katz, a 21-year veteran of the company who started with Andy Albright 21 years ago, he says straight out, we only try to scam the people for $350 a week, as opposed to these other companies that want $1,000+ per week. He knows that these people are most likely to fail. This is evidence, this interview, to be used in any criminal and or civil proceeding against these scammers. A big thumbs up to GusFox.com, who's doing incredible work to help victims of companies such as the Alliance. Check out his website after this 18-minute interview. Roll the tape.
This is Adam Katz. How you doing?
Adam, I was sort of expecting your call. I'm glad you are calling. Where are you from?
I'm down in Wilmington, North Carolina. I work with the Alliance.
I'm in Las Vegas. I seen you guys on ZipRecruiter.
Yeah, we are advertising, looking to expand. The whole state of Nevada is wide I'm for, and California, to be honest with you.
Any particular reason?
We just don't have much of a West Coast presence. We haven't found leaders. We're very much a Southeast, Southwest, Texas through the Southeast is where a lot of our leaders are. We just haven't found any leadership to build out in the West.
I happen not to be an insurance agent right now. Is that an issue?
I mean, I will need you to get your license.
I know people who became licensed. This was a couple years back. I work in a call center, and I do recall there was one guy in particular. He left the company. He joined something called Family First Life, and he seemed to be doing pretty well. He was posting all over Facebook that he's making a fortune. I noticed that you guys and Family First Life are virtually the same company, the same parent company.
Well, that's the CEO of Family First used to work with us.
And you're now owned by the same company?
We're now owned by Integrity Marketing, yes.
Okay, so it's like the same company.
Think of it more like this. Think of it like you got the NFL, and then you got the Giants, and you got the Cowboys. Yeah, they're both part of the NFL, but they're also both trying to beat each other.
Tell me about what's going on. What have I missed out in the past couple of... This was about 3 years ago. I almost worked for them.
Probably cost you $500,000, but...
It happens. I've made mistakes in life. This wouldn't be the first.
I'm sure. Probably won't be the last either, if you're like me. So you worked in the call center the last 3 years?
I've been pretty good at the call center. I do okay, but stuff is getting so expensive, it's almost like I can't pay my bills based on the same salary I was making 5 years ago.
How long you been in Vegas?
I've been here probably 7 years.
Where was home before that?
I was in Orlando.
I thought I detected more of a northeastern accent.
I grew up in a place called Boston.
So Orlando to Boston to Orlando to Vegas.
When you grow up in Boston, you don't move to Buffalo.
You definitely go warmer, less snowy. You know, it's commission sales, so if you don't sell anything, you don't make any money. But, you know, we have leads. We got people filling out forms asking us to call them. So you're not cold calling, you're not going door to door. You're just following up on these responders. People are asking you to give them the information. Then it's your ability to get people to commit.
Like I saw in ZipRecruiter, it said the average income was pretty high. In reality, what do people make?
So many variables to that it's hard to answer that question. Like people say, what's the average person make with you guys? The average person, to be honest with you, quit because they can't take no's. They don't have a self-image. They don't have the drive to deal with any negative in their life whatsoever. And so most people, they give it a try. They try and make a few phone calls, run a couple of appointments, and then they decide to just do something else. They also have the attention span of a gnat. Here's what I can do. I can give you examples of what people have done with us. Obviously, I don't know you at all. You know, I don't know your sales ability.
I've been doing this phone sales stuff forever. The company I work for is always hiring 100 people. There's always 100 people there, and there's a turnover of probably 10% every month. And I'm in the top 3 or 4. I make money.
Okay.
I don't make exceptional because it's the nature of sitting in a desk and collecting a paycheck.
Right. When you trade security, what you're trading is opportunity. Well, here's what I can tell you. My 22-year-old daughter has made 6 figures with me her first 2 years working with me.
That's in North Carolina?
She's actually in Florida. She lives in Bradenton, Florida. So when she graduated from NC State University, our CEO has a place down on Treasure Island, and she wanted to be closer to him for mentorship. And so rather than moving closer to us, she packed up and moved to Florida. So she's been down in Bradenton, Florida, but she actually runs business all across the country. She goes wherever she needs to go. So this is kind of a twofold opportunity. On the one side, you got sales, and she's made her $100,000. She's made it with sales. She does not have much of an organization at all. She is trying to build an agency at the same time. So she's hiring agents across the country. She'll go out and train them. So she'll get leads in Houston. She got leads in Dallas, Baton Rouge, throw an agent in the car with her, and they watch her work. But she just started doing that really in the last couple of weeks. The majority of her sales were down in Florida. We have some people first year, they don't have the confidence, they don't have the experience, they don't have the work ethic. They make 30, 40 grand.
How many agents are in your system?
The Alliance system, thousands and thousands. I have about 65 agents that I'm working with across the country. I know Vegas is a great place to build. I got a couple guys getting licensed out there. I am looking for somebody to build around. I am looking for a leader, somebody with leadership qualities, somebody who has a big vision, wants to make $250,000 plus income.
The numbers that you're describing, it sounds like I would have to put up some sort of money or not.
No, you'd have to get a license, so that's going to cost you a couple $100. It's probably $300 for the license, and you've got to pass the state test. After that, we do charge for leads. I can get you started on no-cost leads, so I'm going to start you off on the low contract level because I'm paying all the upfront costs. But then when you're ready to, move up in commission level, then you start picking up your own cost. Or if you're in a position you can pick up your cost day one, then I'll start you off on a higher contract.
I've got money in the bank.
It's like the Fram oil filter. You can pay me now or you can pay me later.
Yeah, I'd like to earn the normal salaries or normal wages. How much do people spend, let's say, on a weekly basis?
How much are you trying to make?
If you
what would be your income goal?
I would expect in any type of job, similar to I'm on the top, let's say 5%, I would continue to being on the top 5%. But I wouldn't want to make someone else a millionaire based on me working.
The way our system is set up, you can't ride one guy to the top. You have to have a real business. So you would just be one piece of our business. You wouldn't be the whole business, if that makes sense. So the way we're set up is this. You make dollars, I make pennies.
What's the difference in percentage if I start at 1 and you pay for the leads, or if I pay for the leads and from day one, and what percentage?
With you at 55% if I'm paying for the leads, and I'd start you off on a 80 contract if you're paying for the leads.
And how much would I be spending on leads on a weekly basis?
If you're looking at what the top 5% of the company's doing, you want to be in that game. Our top agents are probably investing $1,500 a week in leads, which sounds like a lot. If you cost analyze that over the year, that's $75,000 a year. But they're making $300,000 plus, so they're netting over $200,000 after lead cost. I wouldn't expect you to do something like that. That's something you might build yourself into as you grow with the company, as your comfort level, as your ambition level. $300 a week is typically where we start people, and really my goal is to get you up to about $500 a week on a weekly basis.
Is there some sort of formula that I should be shooting for? If I spend $500 a week on leads, how much should I make in sales?
$500 a week should get you about $5,000 in sales. So if you're making
$300 would get me $3,000 in sales.
Those are the projections. Obviously, skill set has a lot to do with it. Yeah. So if you're just looking at the baseline sales, we expect for every $100 invested, you should do $1,000 of production.
Yeah, I hate to say it, I would definitely want that higher percentage because food costs money.
Look, if you got money in the bank, I would do that. If you were willing to bet on yourself, I would do it. Because you're paying me for floating the money is what it comes down to. If you got the money, I'd take the higher contract and make the higher dollar amounts.
And that formula is pretty set throughout the industry if someone's competent, because I know a lot of people coming in are not competent, but let's say someone is suitable for this business. Is that a normal number to 10 times
I don't know if it's an industry-wide normal number because I don't know the quality of leads of a lot of other companies.
No, I mean with your company specifically.
With our company, yeah, those are the numbers that we confidently talk about and project. We were doing a training session. We got our national convention next weekend down in Dallas. We'll have people talking about what the expectations are. Our expectation is for every $100 you're investing, we expect you to get $1,000 worth of production. I love your confidence. So somebody with your skill set should be able to produce those numbers. I wouldn't blink looking you in the eye saying, yeah, if you're not doing that, I don't know what you're doing.
You mentioned I would start at 55%. Can it go up?
Our highest contract is 140%. So if you're buying the leads, you'd start at 80%.
And what does it take to get up to from 80 to 100? Because I like round numbers where you just say, hey, I invest 1,000, I make 10,000.
Just to be clear, there's more to the math than just that. As a general, just talking about numbers. Get to 100, just doing your own business, that you need to maintain about 40,000 a month in production.
Which is a decent number. So that's not so easy to get.
It's an aggressive number. The other way you can get there is you can build an agency. You can recruit other agents and build an agency. Now you have team production that's driving you up as well. Plus you're making overrides on your organization.
I've heard of you guys from years ago when I was researching this. So I know these companies fill up football stadiums or baseball stadiums or something like that. So
some do. We don't. We're doing a convention center. We'll probably have close to 2,000 people there.
Which is quite a lot of people for any sales organization.
Yeah, absolutely. Not to minimize us, but it's not a football stadium. We're not renting out where the Raiders are playing.
I remember a company called Family First Life. They filled up a football stadium or a baseball stadium.
I think they got up to, rumor had it that they had like 10,000 people coming to one of their conferences.
So why are they bigger than you guys?
They're more aggressive. Look, I don't want to talk about other people.
You can tell me.
We value relationship and not just transactions. So we're not going to churn and burn because we actually value the people that we're trying to work with, and we build relationships. And we're just not as aggressive. I mean, look, if you want to spin it, what are they better at doing than us? They're much more aggressive than we are, and it drives my CEO crazy, to be clear, because he trained Sean. We also are a company that we pride ourselves on the upside opportunity of the business. Look, you want to look up Family First, you can look up Family First. They're going to give you a higher commission level day one.
Is it for the same companies they give the higher commission level? Let me look it up right now. I'm on the computer.
That's one of the things they're more aggressive about. They give away contract level so they can attract a lot of people, especially the type A sales guys. What we do is we have a system that gives you a chance to actually build something. See, here's the problem. If I give you a high contract and then you want to recruit somebody, we're giving them the high contract too. You don't make any money on it.
I'm doing a Google search. I see something here. It says Family First Life lawsuit. What the heck is going on there?
I don't know. I don't keep up that close with them. I mean, look, I know their CEO. He is someone that will attract a lawsuit.
There's even a Reddit thread. It says Family First Life lawsuit thread portal. Let me click that. This is a crap load of lawsuits. It says here they're calling them MLM fraudsters, that they should be in jail. There's YouTube videos here describing, wow, this is crazy stuff. Is that what you mean by they're more aggressive?
They want you to buy $2,000 worth of lead day one. Whereas I'm talking about you invest $300 to $500 and ramping up. They want you to blow everything. And by the way, they make money on their lead. We do not. So that's one of the reasons why they want you to spend $2,000 on leads, because they're making money on it. And they don't care if you sell insurance because they're making the money on the lead sale. We care that you sell insurance, which is how you make money. I don't get paid to sell you leads. I don't get paid to recruit you. I get paid to help you get paid. We either win together or we lose together. But I don't get a dime until you're making a dime. I'm making dollars.
Where do your leads come from?
We work with this company that we have exclusive access to. And so we do direct mail. We also do internet. And then Integrity itself has lead carriers as well.
Is the Integrity lead system the same as theirs?
No. The Integrity leads are the same, but the Alliance leads are specific to the Alliance. And the rest of Integrity doesn't have access to those leads.
So you're sort of sharing the same leads, but not all the same leads.
Right. Look, if you dig deep enough on us, you're going to find lawsuits against Andy Albright also. You can't be in business 20 years and not piss somebody off. But what you're reading about Family First is egregious versus ours, which is more of a nuisance.
I'm still on this Reddit forum, and there's just information after information about lawsuits and articles describing criminal behavior.
I don't know enough about it. I mean, criminal is a pretty strong accusation. But what I do know is this. They don't mind leaving a wake of bodies in their past because they care about the bottom line. How many policies can they sell? How many leads can they sell?
It sounds like the leads can they sell if it's $2,000 from the get-go.
Right. That's what the goal is. We hire a lot of people. And the reality is this. The ones we get are the ones who don't have $2,000 to keep pouring in week after week after week. They try it, and then it's just like, hey, I can't afford to work over there. So we meet people where they are. The problem with meeting people where they are is a lot of people are not very high.
There's very few people in today's economy that have $2,000 a week that are looking for jobs. It's almost never happens.
Which is why we're looking at starting people off $300 a week, $500 a week, something more reasonable, and let you ramp up. And then as you start cash flowing really well, then you can start reinvesting more and more back into your business. Playing the long game, the short game.
To make that really good money, how much in leads again do people buy per week?
Give me your definition of really good money.
Let's say your top 5%.
I mean, top 5% is probably 350 plus. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, 350 plus.
I will tell you also our top 5%, a lot of that money is managers' money. The top income earners build a business also. They don't just rely on personal sales. Our top salespeople, they're the ones spending the $1,500 plus a week in leads. I don't know percentage, top 5%. I don't.
But the top people are spending $1,500 a week.
But our top people, our Megan Woods, our Eric Belair.
And they're at that 120, 130% commission they are at?
Probably 120. They might be higher. None of that's real public.
Well, it's not.
My guess is they're 120, but I don't know. They could be higher.
Okay, I'm looking at this Reddit post, and there's something out there called a business opportunity sales law. I'm looking at this post on Reddit, and you're supposed to have something called an income disclosure statement, where if people invest money, you're supposed to tell them exactly how much they're earning on average, the people coming in. There's a link here to a company called PHP Agency, which is also part of Integrity Marketing Group.
That's people helping people.
It states here that 70% of those people lose money on their income disclosure.
They are true. PHP is true multi-level. They don't do leads. They don't attract licensed agents. They start people off in like 25% commission levels, and they don't do leads. So it's pure warm market sales and warm market recruiting.
How much are your leads per lead?
It depends where in the country you live. I think in Vegas, in the Nevada area, we can get them for like $30 each.
Are those
direct mail,
exclusive leads?
Exclusive for 8 weeks. You get them for 8 weeks. After 8 weeks, they go into another category.
In the Family First Life situation, they're saying that they sell the leads to 20 different people.
20 is probably an exaggeration, but yeah, I'm sure they sell them multiple times.
So yours are truly exclusive for $30?
For 8 weeks. To be clear, after 8 weeks, they're going to be sold again.
Oh, so 8 weeks they're truly exclusive, and you're monitoring if something gets sold so they don't get replaced to someone else?
Yeah, not a perfect filter, but that's the plan. Now, the other thing is this. If you want to pay double the cost, then they'll make them exclusive to you. So if you'd rather pay $60, then they won't resell them.
Through your system, the $30 are good for 8 weeks, which is really all you need.
If you haven't pursued those leads in 8 weeks, you don't deserve the sale.
And what product are you selling from the get-go?
Most of our leads are generated for final expense. A whole life, $10,000, $15,000 whole life policy.
Which is
we're dealing with
low-income people that are older.
Typically. A lot of people on Social Security.
Generally, someone filling out a postcard for their burial doesn't have a ton of money in their bank.
Generally.
And they're still going to buy some sort of insurance policy to put themselves in the ground?
There's reasons why people get the life insurance. And the reality is this. We send out, we get about a 1% return on the mailer. So 99% of the people who get the letters aren't filling them out. So the ones who do fill it out, they have a reason for it.
A mailer, I believe, costs like $1. The postcard, everything. Isn't it about $1 if you include the postage?
Yeah, basically.
So if you're getting 1% filled out, the mailer's actually costing you $100.
Maybe we're getting 2% back. Or maybe because we do bulk mailing that we get it for 50 cents a mailer.
Let me
instead of $1.
Look up cost, postcard, postage. It's 51 cents, just the postage.
Okay, so if we get 1%, they're $50 each.
But you're selling them for $30.
Because areas like where you are, we'll get a higher percentage. So in some places, we're charging $20 for them, and other places, we're charging $100 for them. And it's all based on projected rate of return.
I just did a Google search as well for income disclosure statement, the Alliance, and I don't see anything. Do you have anywhere online that says, hey, this is what the average person who comes into our system?
Not that I know of. Doesn't mean we don't have it. I just don't know where it is.
Since you recruit, according to the law, it's called the Business Sales Opportunity Law, you would have to be registered via that law, which also means you have to comply. The people that you're recruiting have to know what the projected incomes make. The government is trying to protect people, which means if you tell someone to invest $300, $400, $500 a week and you're going to make XYZ amount of money, you're actually breaking the law and 10 years in jail, according to the Business Opportunity Sales Law. I'm on the Reddit post, and there's a gentleman named Christopher Coyle in Oklahoma who's suing Family First Life on that specific law. It's also triple damages on a civil matter.
Okay. Look, I'm not an expert on the law. I guess if you want to turn me into the FBI, you can turn me into the FBI. I don't know what to tell you. I'm not telling you to spend anything.
It's a state law.
Okay.
Well, you actually
I'm not telling you.
You don't have to tell me to spend. If you tell new people coming in that we want you to spend XYZ amount of money and you're expected to make XYZ, that's exactly why the law was written. That's why it's 10 years in jail.
Okay.
Now that you know that, are you going to be more careful about adhering to the law?
I guess I will in Nevada.
Well, it's the same law in Florida, Texas, California. Most of the United States has the same. It's a state law.
Well, if it's a state law, every state doesn't have the same law.
22 of the largest states have it, including, I know, Texas, Florida, California. The states that don't have the law have something pretty darn similar.
I would assume that we have it somewhere because we are very compliant. We've been doing this 21 years. If we were in blatant violation of laws, we wouldn't be able to maintain business. Integrity wouldn't have purchased it.
Based on this Reddit article, it's a law that was enacted 10 years ago by the FTC recommended law. I see it online. It says 10 years in jail.
Okay, so I won't tell anybody to spend any money on leads.
It's not just telling them to spend money on leads. Is you can't even tell them, hey, XYZ spent $300 a week and he made XYZ. If you say those words, it has to be in writing with an income disclosure statement, and the people have to acknowledge getting it via signature. Otherwise, you're breaking the law.
Look, I apologize if I have done anything to offend you.
Well, you did offend me. If you're saying this on a regular basis to hundreds of people,
I apologize as well. And I don't know what to tell you.
I'm looking at your ZipRecruiter ad. It states that the average income is between $75,000 and $150,000 a year.
I'm going to go now. You obviously are just wanting to, I don't know what you're trying to do, but you're not looking for a company to work with. So I'm going to go ahead and hang up the phone now. You have yourself a great weekend.